Hey everybody, from the same play session as the last few T49 replays, I've also got a 304 match. Now, I was having a really good run of things, which is odd considering I was playing some really RNG reliant tanks and firing mainly HE. But I was having a good time. I was playing, I think, better than usual. And I think that there may be some correlation between this and the fact that I've been up all night. Once I get to a certain level of tiredness, I seem to play a little bit better because I'm a bit more cautious. I've also noticed the same effect when I'm slightly drunk. Obviously this only works up to a point. If I'm either falling asleep in my chair or completely pissed out of my skull, I play like shit, but if I'm just gone far enough to be careful, I seem to do better than usual. And this match was certainly a pretty decent match for me. I would have liked a different outcome, but really, you have to take what you get when you're in a 304 and you're bottom tiered on a map that really isn't arty friendly. Now, we do have a good Chasseur de Char, which is nice, but he is a Chasseur de Char, so he has no armor. He's really not going to have much survivability if he gets focus fired. Now, so far in my 304 in this map, I've had considerable success heading out to the east here, heading down the zero line and setting up just on the backside of this hill, shooting towards the enemy base, and also towards the approach into the village here. First shot I go for is on the Chasseur de Char. He's just out of my range, so I pull ahead a bit. Unfortunately, by the time I get my reticle settled, he is on the move, because he's already taking hits from my teammates. But I'm in an FV304, so I don't have to worry about running out of ammo, because it's not going to happen. I also don't really have to worry about not being loaded when something else turns up, because this thing reloads so goddamn fast, even after the nerf. I do go for the T69 there, but unfortunately it's not very well aimed. I do still have a bit of trouble hitting people on the move. Not as much as I used to, but enough to make it a bit of a crapshoot. And of course, because the 304 does fire so quickly and so accurately, I am not averse to taking blind shots and trying to fish him out. I do hold this one though, just to see if he gets relit. Instead, there's a T-34 spotted. Now this is kind of a ropey shot. You can tell from how far the reticle's spread out that my shell could quite easily go over or under him because he's on the back slope of a hill. Now this is something that a lot of people don't seem to realize, but if you're on the back slope of a hill, it makes it very difficult for arty to hit you. And when they do, they're usually going to hit you in the thickest armor on the front of your tank. So hills are generally a good defense against arty. They don't completely protect you unless they're obviously very steep and block the shell itself, but they do give you a little bit of a benefit. Of course, this works better against inaccurate arty, like say the S51. It doesn't work so well against an FE304. I look for shots in the 416 because he does have that beautiful big flat engine deck on the front of his tank. I was hoping to maybe get a one-shot in there. Unfortunately, it just didn't happen. Hit the thick armor on the front and only got 83 damage. My next shell though is significantly better and full pens him for 487. A slight high roll. Now, I do make a mistake here. I spent a bit too long, actually quite a lot too long, trying to focus on this guy. He was pretty much out of the fight anyway. Did try there for the T-34. I did actually track him and do a little bit of damage. I was worried I might hit our super Pershing, but it turns out I actually helped him a little. Now, I can't hit the T-69 unfortunately, so the super Pershing does die. And I go back to trying to fish out the object 416. Now, I should have ignored him, honestly. He was in a difficult position to hit, and he was really turtled up there. He knew I was focusing him. Because I was so tunnel visioned on this guy, I missed a lot of easy shots on the IS-3 and the SU-100Y. And this would come back to bite me in the arse later in the game. Finally, I do realize that shots at the 416 are futile, and I push up to get range on the stuff in the enemy base. The IS-3 is showing his back to me. He is moving back and forth. He's also on a slope there. You can see him overhanging the edge to take shots on my team, so it's going to make it a little difficult, particularly as I have to get used to the flight time again. I haven't played Artie for so long. But I persist, and although it doesn't pay off with a full pen, it does slowly chip away his hit points. First with a 108 damage shell, and then as soon as I'm reloaded and confident in my next shot, I send another shell into his back for 150 damage. Now these aren't big hits, but they are going to slowly chip him down over time, and they're going to force him to worry about Artie cover. I do switch targets though. There's a KV2 spotted. It's threatening our Chasseur de Chat, who is, like I said, the best player on our team, and also our best chance of winning at the moment. I unfortunately don't do very much damage to it, but it looks like it's going to be dealt with pretty easily. So I switch targets back to the IS-3. By now, it looks like we've pretty much got this in the bag. We have an IS-3 and a Tiger 2 pushing up the enemy base ramp. They are fairly low on health, but I figure I can help out by knocking more hit points off this IS-3. The Chasseur de Chat is still up. We still have a Panther 2 as well, although he's very low on hit points. Though we also have a Type 58, who's only just decided to move out of base. Our Chasseur de Chat heads in for the GW Panther and gets shotgunned. And, oh god, that's not good. I try to finish the guy off before he can shotgun anyone else. The M12's lit, but it's out of my range. The IS-3, again, out of my range. We should still have this. Operative word should. I finish off the GW Panther, but the enemy IS-3 manages to kill the Tiger 2. And the Panther 2 is very low on health and has actually dived down into the 8-line trench, which is a terrible idea because he can no longer provide fire support. He's going to have to go all the way up behind the IS-3 to do anything to him, and the IS-3 has just killed our own. So he now has no distraction. He's going to be facing the Panther 2 as he comes in. My shot goes wide, poorly aimed by me. There's nothing I can do to save that guy. He really should have just stayed safe and either shot this guy in the back while he had the chance, or spotted for me. Spotting for me would be preferable to dying. Things are starting to look a lot ropier now. We do still have the Type 58, but he's cowering behind a rock and refuses to push out and spot anything, and without any lights, I can't do anything to the enemy team. What's worse, they're able to push on him without him realizing until it's too late. If he goes down, our chances of winning go from slim to none. Sure enough, the SU-100Y is working for a flank shot. The IS-3 is too. I have range on neither. I desperately scoot forwards and nearly plunge off a cliff to my doom in the process. The 100Y does take a big hit there, or relatively big at least. It wipes out most of his remaining hit points, but the Type 58 goes down, having done basically nothing all game. I don't know what the fuck that guy was playing at, but he really fucked us over there. As the most mobile and best camouflaged of our remaining tanks, all three Artie, it's pretty much on me to scout this one. Not just that, but I also have the best shotgunning ability, at least accuracy-wise, out of all of us, and with the SU-100Y so low on hit points, I can actually kill him with a shotgun. The IS-3, of course, will be a more difficult proposition, but I'm hoping I can kite him into the open and get my friendly Artie to shoot at him. Now, I should have been looking at a minimap at this point. I figured they might relocate a little, but I didn't realize that they were actually following me. I stick to the right here, so I've got some degree of camouflage to mask my approach. I'm not quite sure where these two guys are, so I want to stay outside their cap to avoid tipping them off that I'm in their base, and I'd like to have some degree of camouflage and cover. Sure enough, I pop up behind the SU-100Y, but my terribly aimed shotgun misses. His terribly aimed reaction shot misses as well, and although I bump a couple of my hit points off, ramming him there, I'm able to reload much sooner than him and finish him off with a shotgun to the face. Now I still got an IS-3 to worry about. He's sitting on 6 kills and he still has the bulk of his hit points. And this is the point where I realized the other arty followed me in, and I just cannot fucking believe it. If even one of them had stayed set up to shoot into the enemy base, we could have won this. If both of them had stayed set up to shoot into the enemy base, we would have won this. Instead, both of them decide to suicidally charge in following me, and it cost us the game. The IS-3 comes up the other side of the rock. I'm able to proxy him, and then Benny Hill him around the rock, but our M44 gets killed trying to follow me. I really just cannot fucking believe that he did that. Of course, I have no chance of doing any meaningful damage to an IS-3 with face-first shotguns in a 304. I do get hung up on the wreck there of our friendly IS-3, but I'm able to get away just before that big 122mm shell can hit me. RM12 comes up, attempts a shotgun, fucks it badly, and now I'm basically screwed, and you can see my reaction in chat. Now, I did get myself killed by stopping to type there, but I was pretty much done for anyway. There was only so long I could kite him around that rock, and the M12 had absolutely no chance of doing anything about it, because look at him, he's shotgunning the dirt in front of his own face. Those two arty on our team, I just don't believe it. They took it from something I might have been able to salvage, maybe with some good support, into just a complete clusterfuck. If it comes down to a situation where you have nothing but arty left, one arty goes to scout, the rest of the arty stay in place and aim where it's going to scout. You do not send a fucking lemming train of artillery in to try and shotgun, much less pubbies in artillery with bad accuracy. It's just a complete waste. Had either of them or both of them stayed set up in our base or anywhere else on the map where they could hit that IS-3 as I kited him around the rock, that would have been a win. And I was really not best pleased as a result. So after this one, I did end up taking a break. I felt like I needed it after that match, but I think my performance was about as good as you could really expect bottom tiered on this map. The 304 does do pretty well as bottom tier, honestly, because it can just permatrack things even if it can't damage them so well. And of course, I'm no arty master, I still struggle a bit with the arc. So I don't get the amount of full pens you'd see somebody who's better than me getting. But it is still quite a strong little arty piece, even when it's shafted matchmaking wise, and it's still quite a lot of fun to play, despite the nerfing that was done to it, when it was well and truly the best arty tier for tier in the game. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. As ever, I'll see you on the next one.